there, comic book friends. I'm Travis. It's New Comic Book Day, or at least New Comic Book Day for me. You got my books right here. No What the Fugue stuff. I mean, I have stuff to talk about, but I don't know. Don't feel like talking about it, I guess. I'm having a heavy sigh kind of a day. Not sure what that's about. I don't know if it's the weather we're currently having. The high is at least 100 plus every day. There's forest fires all around, so everything is a brown haze. So I don't know if that's what it is or what, but just don't feel like blathering a whole bunch. And here I am blathering anyway. Let me take a drink of the tea. Okay, Live by Comics, 18 books this week. Some of these I probably, who knows when I'll ever get around to reading them. But we'll see here. So, Batman. This is issue number 28, War of Jokers and Riddles. I really like that cover. That's a cool cover. Because you look at the cards, all of the Jokers are all Jokers, except for the Batman that he's laying down there. But there's like a penguin card back there. And in the Riddler's hand, you've got a Poison Ivy. And then laid down there's a Killer Croc and a Two-Face. Not sure who the S that's a diamond is. Deadshot's back there too. So that's cool. That's cool. I've really been enjoying this, so I'm looking forward to this. I think this goes back to our regular story. Now we've got the whole Kite Man backstory. Now we're back up to telling the current story. So very much looking forward to that. I've really been enjoying this arc of Batman, which is nice to say. Another book I've been super enjoying, Marvel book, Black Bolt, issue number 4. Wonderful artwork by Christian Ward. Great story by Saladin Ahmed. They've broken out of their prison. Now we get we're going to evaluate more of who's to be imprisoned, who's not to be imprisoned, all that sort of stuff and whatnot. All the characters have their powers. So Absorbing Man is Absorbing Man again and whatnot. So we'll see where this goes. Like I said, really enjoyed the first 3 issues. There's nothing else. The Eye Candy by Kristen Ward makes the book worth it. But actually, the story is really intriguing also. So very much enjoying that. Next up, we have East of West, number 34. Yes! Back to some more East of West. Feels like it's been a while since, maybe not, but it feels like it's been a while since East of West. Or maybe it's just so good that I feel like that it's been a while since there's been much like East of West. But anyway, issue 34, very much looking forward to reading it. Always a solid book. Just always really intrigued to see where they're going to go, with that. Because I know that Death has regained his child. The 3 horsemen of the apocalypse are really coming down on everything. And the whole geopolitical in what used to be the United States has really gone crazy. The president of the United States has been assassinated. The Maoists are rushing across the United States, or what's left of the United States. So all kinds of really interesting stuff going on there. Then there is Ever After, from the Pages of Fable, issue number 12. I believe this is the last issue. This basically stealthily got canceled, I think. So I think this is actually the last issue, which is unfortunate because they kind of, in between story arcs, this last story arc has been really long, it seems like. Even though it's only 12 issues, so maybe that's a problem. I don't know. Anyway, they've kind of hinted that there's this larger picture, this whole other place and whatnot, that this other world that that they've kind of dealt with in one way or another that could potentially cause this whole other thing, which I thought was all really interesting ideas and stuff for them to continue to use, this world, Billingham's world from Fables. But maybe we're not going to get that. I really like that cover. It just feels like those skeletons should be glow in the dark, doesn't it? I don't think they are, but anyway. So next up is a comic I have been super enjoying, Hawkeye. This is issue number 9, and I'm going to keep talking about it because I would really wish other people would pick it up, start picking up and trade. I would hope this book doesn't get canceled. I've seen a lot of the other kind of books like this being canceled. Wasp just got canceled, which I think is unfortunate. I haven't been reading it, mistakenly so, because it sounds like it's awesome. I will be picking that up in trades. But anyway, Kelly Thompson, Leonardo Romero and Jody Valeri on this book just do a really good job. They capture the right kind of Kate Bishop, this visually looking kind of like the David Aja art from Matt Fraction's Hawk Guy run. But Kelly Thompson uses the right kind of dialogue to blend that, what little bit Kate Bishop we got there, along with the, Kieran Gillian, Jim McKelvey, Kate Bishop, to give us the right kind of cool vibe for the character, and then Kelly Thompson has an interesting story to tell that we're getting here. So it's been lots of fun with her father and some potential superpowers in the family, and Mystique and some of that kind of stuff there. That's Madam Mask, right? Not Mystique, Madam Mask. Mystique's the mutant, right? Yeah, boy, get that wrong. Injection, issue number, I want to say 14, not 12. Love that cover. All his hands reaching up out of the pit. So very much looking forward to this. Always great. This arc has been really fun with our techno oriented person as she's investigating this stone circle and some power and some energy that's coming out of it. Clearly there's some other stuff going on. The last issue, her and kind of like her sidekick that she's kind of adopted had rushed to this car and dove into this car as this massive energy pulse type thing went over everything and pretty much wiped everybody out, I think. So this might be what's left of them, these kind of ghosty kind of things. So very much looking forward to seeing what's next of this. Really, really enjoyed this book. I'm really kind of surprised. This thing in singles, I think, is selling around 10,000 or so. And I think surprising to me that it isn't selling more than that. Do people just not know who these creators are? Because I would think if you liked any one of these creators, it would be a reason to be on the book. But all three of them are amazing. Warren Ellis, Declan Shalvey, and Jody Valeri. I don't understand why this wouldn't be a book that you're picking up unless you pick it up in trade. And then awesome, because hopefully us 10,000 that are reading it in singles is enough to keep the book going, so then it can sell well in trade and creators make bank to be able to continue with a really interesting story. So next up, we have the New Gods. This is a one-shot special. This is probably the whole Kirby stuff. I'm not even sure exactly who's on this book. I do not care for this cover. Half tempted to not get it because of the cover, but I really like the New Gods. It's some of the whole New God stuff, the Mr. Miracle and all the other characters, the Bardas and Orion and Darkseid and all that stuff that comes out of the New God stuff. I really, really like. Some of my favorite Kirby type stuff went on. So I'll be curious to see about this. I'm reading it for the joy of who the New Gods are, and we'll see what it ends up being like. So I think there's some more of them coming out, and I'm getting some of those. Like I'm getting the Black Racer one. There's a couple other I think that I'm getting too. I didn't get all of them though. All the Kirby tribute kind of stuff and whatnot. Didn't get them all. So. Anyway, next up we have Nightwing, issue number 26, and the Huntress. Got the Huntress here. Partners No More, because of course, back when she was part of Spiral, he was part of Spiral during the wonderful Grayson run. They were kind of a thing. This is called Spiral Part 1. And this is the last arc I'll be getting of Nightwing, because of course I have dropped it, because it starts tying into the DC Metal shenanigans that are coming up, so I don't want to do that. But we'll see what this is like. I love these characters. Some of my favorite characters. I really, really like Huntress a lot, so I'll be reading it for that, if nothing else. So see where they go with that. Savage Things. This is issue number 6. I think this is 8 issues, I want to say. Let me check my cheat sheet here real quick. Yeah, so 2 more issues of this. Last issue was like pure, action. Plot-wise, it didn't move forward a whole lot, but it did have some interesting character moments in it, and lots of crazy action, which is fun too. All things that I'm happy with, as long as that isn't the book is purely just action scenes with nothing in them maybe. So I say that, but then I read Shell and Cowboy, which arguably not a whole lot happens in that, but it's just a crazy fight scene all the way through it, and I enjoy that. So I don't know, who knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, looking forward to checking that out. World Reader issue number 5. I mean, nothing about this says that it is a miniseries. I kind of thought in my head for some reason that it was. I'm sure it has a finite story, because I mean, I don't know, what happens if they solve this problem. Of course, I don't know how many issues it could be before they really solve it. But anyway, last issue of this, we had them starting to potentially get some answers. Our main character, who kind of psychically can read stuff around her and see ghosts and talk to them and see what's going on. They're starting to get some answers. Suddenly the military shows up back up, and it's like, we gotta run, we gotta go, because they found some alien life that's actually alive, which would be at first. So curious to see what that ends up being like and whatnot. But that last issue wasn't as strong. The art, there were multiple pages of just trippy, really wonderfully colored in purples and pinks and whatnot, colored pages, which look great, but really did nothing for the story in and of itself. So as much as I say I love art and I'll read things just for the art still has to convey more than what those pages conveyed, I guess. Next up, we have a one-shot of Lobster Johnson. This is, it doesn't actually say what the title of it is on it. Usually it says somewhere on it what the title is. Or if this is telling me what the title is, clearly I am not well educated in whatever language that is, if that technically is. I'm looking to see on my thing. This is just the Mangekyo, yeah. One shot. No idea how you say that. Anyway, looking forward to it. It's written by John Crudy. Still Ben Steinbeck doing the art on it, which is superb, and Dave Stewart on colors. So big Ben Steinbeck fan. Typically, Ben Steinbeck was the guy who, for the longest time, did the Baltimore stuff. So curious to see this, because I think that all the rest of the other Lobster Johnson stuff was all done by a Ted, another name I can't say. It's shoot, but almost all the rest of it's done by a particular artist. So this will be curious to see, to read this with it having a different art on it, because like I said, it's one of the things that's been consistently by the same person. Hadrian's Wall, issue number 8, the final of the story. Looking forward to it. Really been enjoying this. Interesting story. Kind of took a weird turn about the midway point. Because at the midway point, we got this whole kind of rebel storyline got added into our murder mystery and stuff, and we're coming down to the finals of all of that and exactly what's going to happen. Wonderful art by Reyes. So pretty much enjoying that. Here's the book that I probably will not get around to reading. Who knows when? Archangel. William Gibson's Archangel number 5. This is the end of the story, I believe. I don't think there's another issue. Kind of hope there's another issue. Tula toy cover. So I'm digging that. But a Will Eisner nominee, huh? I wonder what for. I wonder what it got nominated for. Because I think it was 9 months ago the last issue came out, just to give you an idea of the horrific delay on this thing. So at some point I will sit down and I'll go back and I'll read the entire thing. It's a time traveling, kind of a deal. We got modern characters going back in time, injected into World War II and causing some, some havoc one way or the other. The Germans pick up some of the modern technology, so there's all this kind of stuff going on. There's some spy and double spy stuff going on also, but there's not a clear, synopsis of the plot because I rightly don't remember a lot of it because of how long it's been between issues. And it was a massive gap between the issues before that. It's like the first 2 issues came out consistently fine, and then it just kind of fell apart as far as who knows when we're going to get this as far as in singles go. So yeah, I don't know what that was nominated for at Eisner though. Interesting. Superman issue number 28. Declaration. So last issue they were spending some time kind of traveling around to see some of the sites. They're kind of like on a mini vacation as they head to Metropolis, I think. It was all right. It was kind of a weak history lesson on patriotism. So we'll see what this one ends up being like. It looks like it's more of the same because you see that shadowy in the background there. It's more patriotic scenes and whatnot. So we'll see exactly how that plays out. Whether it adds anything to these characters or not, or it really does feel like we're just going to spin in our wheels waiting for the next story, whatever that's going to be. So we'll see. Not hating it, and I'm not disliking it as much as what I was there for a brief period of time. So I'm hoping we're getting back onto the right sort of track of things. Stray Bullets, Sunshine and Roses, issue number 26. Yes! More good stuff. Really fabulous piece of storyline. The cover kind of tells, kind of what's going on. There's Kretsch down there. We learned last issue we get a whole bunch of his kind of like backstory and a few wonderful panels just to let us know, what kind of a psycho killer he is. And I don't know if this is Beth or Beth's mom. Could be either. I think it's Beth's mom. But anyway, it looks like they're going he's all messed up in the hospital. Maybe this is the end. Or some other deal gets struck or whatnot. So, yeah, very much, as always, looking forward to this wonderful kind of crazy, early to mid 80s craziness. The book, it centers around the time that Star Wars first gets released and a bunch of other stuff. So you get this kind of like little nods and winks at 80s culture and that sort of stuff. Plus, we get a look into the lives of this criminal element in Baltimore and just the crazy stuff that they get themselves into personally. Just really some really good stuff. And next we have Shade the Changing Girl, issue number 11. Looks like we're in Hollywood now. She is traveling to Hollywood. I would assume she's trying to find... shoot, what is her name? Holly? Is her name Holly? There's a 1950s TV show character that she is looking for. And... Honey. It's Honey. Yeah, Life with Honey is the because there's always in the back of these there's a short story. There's always some short comics that are called Life of Honey, and they're typically a kind of a black and white, like you were watching one of the episodes that our main character it has been watching. So yeah, I've just been really digging it. Curious to see what she does, because our understanding is that Honey, the actual actress, has got like stage 4 cancer. She's in a bad way. Shade can manipulate stuff. She a few issues ago, she made people who are old back to their teens again. So what's going to happen? Really curious to find that out. Lovely, lovely book. Always enjoy it. So excited to see what's going to happen with it. It's going to be a good week of reading books. Next up, we have Sex Criminals, issue number 20. I believe this is the end of this arc. So I don't know how long it'll be before we get the next one. So I'm curious to see how they kind of play out this arc, this little piece that's been going on in it and whatnot. Always enjoy Sex Criminals. Anytime I reach a point where I might start doubting what's going on in it, there's just such great characterization in the book that it just makes it worth continuing to read. So very much looking forward to checking that out. And finally this week, we have 7 to Eternity. This is issue number 8. And this is another one that's drawn by James Hearn. Perfectly fan of that. Artist for Rumble, and he did some PPRD stuff and stuff like that. But I like the issue he did last issue. It's a change of art. Of course, it's not Jerome Pena who does the cover art right now. He'll be back in the book. I don't know if it's next issue or the issue after that. But I think he needed a break to kind of rejuvenate, get himself caught up, so he's back on a better time schedule, and they came to an agreement that with this title that they would when those breaks happen, that they would continue to put out content with somebody else doing it. Unlike the other Rick Remender books, nobody else does those books. Nobody else does Lobet Ticini, nobody else does Black Science, but Scalera, nobody else does Deadly Class, but Wes Craig, which makes those books really, really solid. And visually, instantaneously, you know what you're reading and you know what you're getting into. So this is different in that case. This is closer to, I guess, corporate comics, in that we have somebody else, filling in, as it were. But I enjoy this artist too, so all good as far as that goes. So anyway, that's it for this week. I'm going to go read some comics, drink some tea, and whatever else, and hopefully I will see you back here tomorrow to talk some comics in the Comic Book Roundtable. We'll see who we have on. Maybe we'll have Mark's technical stuff figured out, so the bagging and boarding bad boy. See, I'll never be a rapper. Can get on and talk some books with us or whatever. Sir Sergeant America will be there. Chances are Rez is going to be there. So we'll have the usual voices spilling their guts on the comics that they read this week. Anyway, until then, have a great one, everybody.